Hello, everybody. Hey, I'm gonna do a little video blog about a teaching that I got a while back. Um, just kind of praying through some stuff and kind of wondering why God called me out of out of a gym setting into missions and sort of understanding um, just my place in missions and bringing wellness into a place where not necessarily there's not a lot of wellness, but it's just not the focus. Fitness really isn't the focus. Healthy eating is not really the focus. It's about the heart and the Bible and prayer and worship and all that kind of stuff, which is amazing. But there's also a place for this. And so I just am going to condense this into like a really short video so that I don't bore you with like 20 minutes of stuff. But I had this epiphany one day while reading the book of Numbers and realizing that as Moses was taking these people through the desert, they come to a place where God says, I promised you this land and I will give you this land. And so they send spies to go check it out, and they all come back, and Caleb and Joshua are like, that's so great, let's go get it. And then there's other little spies that are saying, no, it's not great, we shouldn't do this. And they bring all this like gross, yucky stuff into the land and into this camp, and it starts to build mistrust and all that kind of stuff. And finally, in Numbers 14:4, they finally come to a place where the people legitimately say, we would actually rather go back to slavery than to go to a land that God has promised us. They would actually go back to being in chains, doing the job of a slave, and eating the food of a slave, rather than going into a land that looked difficult. And so there were 5 tribes that were actually in this land that they went to spy out. And as I read more and more, the more and more I realized these same people groups and their strengths or their weaknesses or their evil are actually things that we walk through as humans in so many areas of our lives. But I felt like even just in the place of wellness and getting started and doing stuff, so there's the Amorites, the Hittites, the Amalekites, the Jebusites, and the Canaanites. And the Amorites were giants in the land. They just looked humongous. And so I think for us, when we start and want to be on a journey of wellness, or start working out or starting to eat right, it just looks too big. Like there's no way that I'm ever gonna get there. I have to lose 50 pounds. And so we look at the 50 rather than just going one day at a time and starting. And so these things that look really big, I just want to encourage you that they're not that big. It looks big, but if you take the smaller pieces, rather than taking a big, huge bite out of it, just nibbling on it a little at a time and day by day, and not seeing it as this daunting giant, but actually this place of being able to tackle something really hard that looks massive, but it's really not that big because it's just not. I know, easier said than done. And then there's the Hittites. And they were the descendants of a man named Heth, who I think his name was, I don't know, maybe he was a place, but Heth, which means trembling and fear. And this tribe, the Hittites, were actually very covetous. They wanted what other people had. And I felt like this was such a place of that we don't start things because we're afraid to fail. I've so many times people just say, well, I'm not going to come to your workout because, you're probably just going to laugh at me, or you're going to make fun of me, or, yada, 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 when in fact it might just be there's just a place of being afraid to fail or comparing yourself to someone else. And it's just super dangerous because our fears keep us locked to just not doing anything rather than stepping out. And so just encouraging in that place when it is scary, walking in boldness, and again, just taking it one step at a time. And and just not letting fear of it being hard, fear of failure, or past fears get in the way of what it is that you need to do in the place of wellness and eating right and being good stewards of your body, etc. Then there were the Amalekites, and they were a tribe that they plucked off the back of the pack, those that were tired and weak. That's what they did. They didn't ever forge this really great attack or scheme anything. They literally picked off and killed the ones in the back, and they attacked the weak ones. And I feel like it's such a place of where it's just, I'm just too tired to do this. I just don't have the energy to that. And we continue to lie to ourselves that we just don't have any energy, when in fact, as most of you know, when you start working out again, yes, you're tired, but you actually have more energy, and you sleep better at night, and you have more energy during the day. And so this lie of that you're too tired, that just picks you off from the back, that you're just not walking as, well and full as you could in this area of life. So I just want to encourage you that yes, you may be tired, but once you finish a workout or you eat a really great meal, you feel so much better, you know? And then there's the Jebusites. And the Jebusites originated from a man named Jabus, and his name actually means a waterless hill. And they were a very warlike people who were very idolatrous and downtrodden and tread under the feet, and they would crush underfoot. And so I felt like in that place it was just the implication of just defeat, just feeling defeated before you even start. Like everything just looks a little bit too daunting, that I just don't think I can do it. And so we just don't start because we feel like we're already defeated, and it's just not true. The defeat starts when you do something. And then the last group is the Canaanites, and they were the most debased tribe. And debase means to cheapen, to corrupt, to lower status, or to decrease intrinsic value. And the Canaanites were the descendants of Ham, who was the son of Noah, who shamed Noah. And he brought shame to his family, to his father. And this, for me, was just such a place of where we just don't even understand our own value, our own worth. And we can walk in the sins of our parents, like, oh, well, my parents were overweight, so that means that that's the way that I'm going to function. Or, I'm just super really skinny, and that's just where it comes from, so I can't be strong. Or I'm just not very athletic, so how could I work out, or whatever those generational things are, or whatever those places of just decreasing your own value as to what you actually can do that holds you back from exercising. All of those things are just, they're totally lies that keep us in a place of just not stewarding what God has given us, because he gave us a body, and we're to be stewards of it in the way that we eat, in the way that we exercise. And so just these little simple things, kind of, I don't know, think about them, and think about which ones are holding you back from actually exercising and eating right. There's a whole lot more to this, but I just want to encourage you to sort of realize what may be going on in your head and in your heart as to how come you can't work out for very long, or you can't stay consistent, or you just can't get started. And then there's those of you guys that work out consistently all the time, and that's amazing. So you can just go and grab those next to you and pull them up with you and help them. So I hope that was helpful. Have a really great day.